resources just in the same ways you would CPU or memory. And this is a good thing. If you have a virtual machine that's using far too many resources, well, it's nice to be able to lock down that VM so it's not over-consuming its fair share of resources in the whole environment. The monitoring piece here allows you to disable or enable the NetFlow settings. If you have a network monitoring solution that supports NetFlow, NetFlow presents a way for you to determine high-level statistics about what kinds of data is moving around your network across what protocols and from where to where. So this high-level information, not at the packet level, but at the flow level, gives you a really good idea of who's talking to whom and why. Down here at the bottom too, do I want to block ports? That would shut down the ports in the port group. Obviously that would disrupt the normal network operations of the hosts of the VMs using those ports, but the opportunity is here. Perhaps you've got some sort of situation where you need to close off ports on this switch. You could do so. So all of these are settings here on the right-hand side of the equation. You'll notice here on the left-hand side of the equation are the same sorts of settings. Now, these settings are going to be available to you, right? The other ones were grayed out because we had not selected down here at the bottom the override of port policies and what those override settings were. Now, again, no different here than what you're used to seeing on the other side, but this presents the ability for you to configure what the behavior of that switch is going to be. Now, at this point, what I want to do is I want to take back here, so let's go back here to hosting clusters for just a second, and I want to go back to networking in this Vsphere standard switch. To keep things relatively simple, what I want to do is across these three servers, migrate VM-NIC 0 from the standard switch over to the distributed switch. Okay, you could at some point in the future go and do your storage switches as well, but for the sake of simplicity, what we want to do is actually go about the process of migrating this VM-NIC 0 and all of its port groups and management network connections from this standard switch ultimately over to this distributed switch that we'll see here just in a second. I'm going to do that for all three of these hosts. Now when I do that, these virtual machines are going to experience a bit of an outage. Again, I only have that single connection right here. So in a production environment, I would probably have more than one connection up to my production network. So I could do this perhaps one at a time, or move virtual machines around and then do it one host at a time. Or there are an array of different solutions for making sure that you don't end up with a service failure in order to be able to do this. But again, for the sake of simplicity, let's actually worry about just getting those things moved over very quickly. So let's go back here to networking. What I want to do is I want to add hosts. And you'll see that I have the different hosts that are available to be added. Okay, here's ESX 1, 2, and 3. And here are the physical adapters that are currently attached to those hosts. Now, if I view details here, this gives me a little bit more information about that adapter and just what it is, what it supports, what it can do. Again, I can view incompatible hosts if I want to, or I can just adjust the settings here just like before. What I'm looking for here is to migrate the primary adapter, VM-NIC 0, for these three hosts